become an artist, and not just any artist, but one who stands out. You see all the big name ones of the ages, the Picassos, Van Goghs, Dalis, and even the modern day artists, the Goghs, Banksy, and Murakami's, and wonder how could they have made not only a name for themselves, but create something that is distinctly their own style and recognizable at that. And today I wanted to discuss how you too could develop your own style and stand out from the crowd. It's my opinion and generally a fact that when you create your own, it helps you be more recognizable and offers a distinct taste that only you can create. My name is Dante Campudoni, and I've been a self-taught artist for more than 7 years now, and I've been featured in a plethora of shows, I've curated exhibitions, and I've found my own art style along the way that is truly unique. So I feel that I have a certain bit of information that could be pliable for your own journey into the world of art. In this video, we're going to go over a range of different ways that you can not only create your own style for yourself so that you can recall on command exactly how you've developed your painting. If you find this video helpful, click that like button and subscribe for more content on developing your own art style and understanding your work in a more meaningful way. Now with that out the way, I want to discuss just how I created my own art style so you guys can better understand myself and my process. And I want to apply that in a chart that I'm going to discuss with you. So going back 7 years ago, I picked up a paintbrush for the first time. I had gotten a selection of watercolors as a gift, and I started to create very basic things such as galaxy backgrounds and dark foregrounds, you know, the types that's like the little silhouette things that you see on TikTok, right? It was simple and easy to make, and even though it lacked any real depth, in my opinion, and I mean, it doesn't lack any depth, it lacks a lot of depth, let's be real. It gave me a lot of confidence in myself, in my brushwork, and more so. So much so that I wanted to become an artist. And in doing that, I got really interested in art history. Now, I was already taught a good amount about form, composition, lighting, depth, due to being in like very basic art classes in high school. I mean, it wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't it was very basic art classes. And I was a pretty okay draftsman already, but that is only very limited when wanting to stand out. So I searched through tons of art books and museums and even watched a bunch of biopics of artists that inspired me. The first was Van Gogh, a very basic art fan's favorite artist, but nonetheless one of the most recognizable and relatable and just breathed art. I attempted to study his life work, buying the Taschine Van Gogh book that we all get from museums and stuff. This book was actually very cool. It had his complete painting collection and notes and stuff to his brother Theo, and thus I studied it a lot and created many renditions of his work. And once I got bored of it, or learned most of what I could, especially with his color theory, I went to others such as Dali, Basquiat, and Picasso, and really started to try to understand their art processes. And I did the exact same thing with them that I did with Van Gogh. And what I started to recognize was that I was just copying them, which, I mean, it is kind of good in the first stages. I copied them and their styles, and it bugged me that when I showed a piece off to people, they would only see the inspiration and not the artist inside of me. I felt stuck, and on a whim, I took a vacation out to Santa Fe, New Mexico, while I was working on a painting, and I left that painting in progress on an easel at home. And I did like a whole bunch of spray paint and everything. I really experimented with this one. And on that road trip, I stumbled upon the Museum of Georgia O'Keeffe, and I also visited Meow Wolf, but Georgia O'Keeffe was way more important in the whole process. And I was looking at a few of her flowers, the clean lines, clean minimal paintings. Something clicked in me that I shouldn't try to paint like my inspirations, but steal different aspects of their work and put it into my own. From that day on, that's exactly what I did. I experimented with so many different ways of doing this until I came across my own style. Something familiar but not recognized. Something that said I made it, something that people could tell it was me and not my inspirations. Self-realization took many years, many failed painting styles, and a lot of feedback. And I'd like to make it easier for you so you have some sort of rubric to understand the process. I think the first step to beginning to have your own style is to understand why it is you're painting, who is your audience, and to understand your audience is really to understand yourself. So you want to take a very deep dive into yourself, why you create, what is your work meaning and everything. And this is a tough step for most of us. So I'd really recommend trying to see yourself through the lens of another person and being super observant of what it is that inspires you, what are your habits with painting and everything. And personally, I believe that journaling is a great step for this. It doesn't have to be like super personal, super pretentious sort of work or anything, but just on the daily, write down like things that inspire you. What have you seen today? Or what sort of thoughts came in your head that made you want to paint them out, Just sort of things like that. Just write down what it is making you work on the piece that you have in front of you. What made you want to paint it and what inspires you to do so? Understanding what artist inspires you helps you acknowledge the influences beyond your work and fully grasping at the root of the evolution of your style. I also believe that it helps you get even more inspiration looking at their works and trying to put your own twist on the subject itself. Recognizing your influences also cultivates a network of others who have similar influences and produces a little bit of a community, and it builds a legacy that is connected to a broader artistic movement or subject matter. Having a community is very important in art. One thing that is vital to this journey and often overlooked is to play around with different mediums also and find one that truly sticks with you. When I was a younger artist, I would experiment with spray paint, acrylics, oils, palette knives, pastels, oil sticks, and this is not only to create more confidence in your craft and make you more versatile, but develop skills, promote adaptability and problem solving. It innovates and it gives us more inspiration through stepping out of our comfort zone. Stepping out of your comfort zone is the name of the game. Don't be worried that you will mess up because that is just inevitable. What isn't is what you've learned from your mistakes. Thomas Edison once said, "I've not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that it won't work." And this is true. Like, a masterpiece comes both out of the blue and after education and hard work and putting in those thousands of hours of painting or playing an instrument. You can't have one without the other. Persistence from failure and learning from it is part of the process of success. Finding a underlying commonality within your work as an artist is important for creating a cohesive body of work. You may ask yourself, what is an underlying theme within my work that is transferable throughout my works? Personally, I would conjure this up to the term a motif. A motif is a recurring element or pattern that appears throughout a piece of work or across multiple works by an artist. A motif can be anything from shapes, colors, symbols, or even subject matter. As an example with my work, You will see many eyes and primary colors. You see, this is because my work resembles the primary and most basic instinct of mankind is to be seen, and the unequivocal light of the soul. A motif serves as a fundamental component within a composition and can reinforce the message that you are trying to bring out. One more important factor that I want to emphasize is understanding that you need some critique in your work. It's important to understand the difference between critique and criticism as well. Critique is more so constructive. You can learn something from it, from the opinion of others, and allows you to build upon the ideas you want to convey into the next piece. This is what we want. Criticism is the counter to that. It's destructive, it brings you down, and is in maleficent intent. In order to truly understand critique, it's to let yourself be more vulnerable. And being vulnerable is just part of the act of creation. You are literally opening yourself up to others and allowing them to see your soul on a canvas. You have to leave pride at the door. And once you have a distinct identity and have worked the thousands of hours, then you can hold your pride up a little bit. And if you're like a full-time artist or anything, then yeah, sure, you can keep a little bit of pride, you know, but you're merely a student at this point of your own craft. And these bumps and scrapes are essential to your growth, really. So keep that in mind. Leave your pride at the door until you are recognized as an artist and everything, okay? Overall, we all want that unique style and have to be ready to work for it. You want to be an artist, you have to work for it. You have to put the thousands and thousands and thousands of hours for it. It's not going to just pop up out of the blue. Some of us are very lucky and some of us have connections and stuff. But really, most of us don't have that. We only have hard work, community, and ourselves. So we need to arm ourselves with tools to get that style up and running. That is why I believe that we need to know, what do we want to promote in our work? Why do we create? What and who inspires us? An understanding of art history, community, and acceptance of constructive criticism. These are all 6 pillars of what is necessary to have a unique art style. This takes time. It doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It happens out of nowhere, but it also doesn't. You know what I mean? It's gradual. It happens. It builds up over time, and then you start to recognize your own style. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe. I have t-shirts on my website, torchesart.com, if you want to support me. I also have artwork on my site too. Yeah. Get ready for the next video. It's coming, whether you want it or not. Take it easy.